RJ Choppy has cooked up a little batch of Cowboys faith or fear.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to ask you, do you have more faith or more fear in this? And you guys give me your answer.
Fear.
All right. Oh, fear.
Yeah,
fear.
Yeah, if it's the Cowboys, fear.
All right, do you have more? I know your answer on this one. Do you have more faith or more fear in Dak Prescott's ability to run this offense?
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, everybody knows my ansers, so I mean, I have complete fear of. Look, I think that
you know what? If he was as great as, and don't interrupt me,
I'm not.
If he was as great as you think, he'd be able to make any offense work. That's a fact. It doesn't matter what basketball scheme you put Luka Doncic in. It doesn't matter what football scheme you put a great quarterback in. They're going to make it work. No, very few people can name the coordinators for Peyton Manning. You can name. I know you because you have it on your lower back tattoo.
I have my
but it doesn't.
stamp.
The point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the question is my faith in Dak's ability to figure it out. I think this is going to look better because I think that Dak Prescott has to be in a rhythm timing offense of just go here, 1, 2, 3, bam. I do think it is a little bit of a growing process, and I think this offense will look better moving forward and that Dak will look more comfortable. So I have more faith in this as a credit to Dak. As a credit to Dak's intelligence, as a credit to Dak figuring it out. I'm not in love with freelance Dak, and you can't build a freelance offense. That to me is such an elementary, basic B statement. Oh, just let him let him roll around and let him play backyard football. What does that mean? How do you draw that up? How do you call that in terms of X's and O's? So
I don't think you do like the Chiefs kind of Mahomes just kind of goes out there and just.
But they don't draw that up.
Yeah, right?
They draw up. They draw up regimented X's and O's plays, and when it breaks down or when there's pressure, Pat takes over.
Absolutely. Now I think those plays that they draw up are a little bit different because they may not be 1, 2, 3 out.
Totally agree.
That's the difference.
Totally agree.
So there's a middle ground they could find here.
Yeah, look. I mean, here's the thing. When you talk about freelance and drawing that up, no, you don't just draw up freelance, obviously. You can't just draw up all right, and we'll draw this play so that it's covered so that then, McCarthy draws up plays that are covered all the time, but you draw up these plays that are covered so that then that allows you to run, Dak.
Outscored Kellen. I know that.
It's more, if Justin Herbert was a decent quarterback, Dak would have hit those throws that night. Yeah. Is that when
especially the Pollard one?
It's not my fault that Tony Pollard doesn't know how to run a route. Mike McCarthy trying to send running backs on 30-yard routes down the field. That's what you get. So I think that when you look at it's the problem with everything has to be tied to the steps. All the routes are tied into the quarterback's drop back. So that naturally is going to limit doing anything other than the drop back. And so I think that's things that other stuff with, now look, footwork is tied in every system to an extent, but a lot of the stuff with, Kellen's offense or anybody, and Kellen's offense is just an Eric Coryell type of thing. But any of these other offensive schemes, it is not nearly as tightly regimented on the exact drop back. And so that's naturally going to kind of tighten you up and put you in a box.
Who has the perfect offensive system in the National Football League for your guy? Who's the perfect coordinator? Who's the dream fit? In order for you to finally, you're not going to, but your dream of winning this Dak argument one day, he would go and play where?
He wouldn't go and play anywhere. You get a time machine and you go back and you tell Mike to suck it up and let your coordinator stay.
Okay, so Kellen Moore's offense.
That was the offense that he had flourished in for 4 years.
He was very good. I mean, he would do well. I think he would do well in Andy Reid's. Because there is enough for Mahomes to do what he does. I don't think it's Mike McDaniels. But I know it's not.
Why? Why?
I mean, that seems pretty regimented too. There's a lot of anticipatory throws there. Tua just kind of. Yeah. I mean, he throws the ball.
Leads them
very. I mean, these are he's throwing touch passes out there. I think he is a perfect quarterback for that. I don't think Josh Allen thrives in that because Josh throws the ball too damn hard.
So my answer is faith. Bobby's is fear of Dak moving forward, progressing in this offense.
Look, I want to be clear again. This is how much everybody knows I want Dak to succeed here, and that I'm a fan of what Dak does on the football field. But I will say this:
damn boy,
you've got to
as Jane would say.
Slow down, Jane. I think that you absolutely have to pick, though. Like, if you are going to be committed to the scheme, then get rid of the quarterback. I'm not gonna. If you are that hell bent on doing it, pick one. I would rather them get rid of the quarterback than have the quarterback play in this scheme for another 4 years.
All right. Well, follow up to this then. Do the Cowboys have more faith or fear in Dak's ability to run this offense?
Fear. Because we saw it at the end of the first half, and we saw it with the changes. I told you on the offseason, they're insulting him. They're I mean, whatever nicer way you want to say it, they're like, yo, man, we have to win with defense. And if you are a $40 million quarterback and you feel like you are the man, and your head coach is sitting up there nonstop saying, guys, the strength of this team is the defense, and we're going to run the football. Those are two freaking slaps across your face. They just are. At least that's how I would take it. And I don't think that's not a hot take. That's not a stretch. It's like, yo, man, we're going to build this around everything else but you. So that tells me that the Cowboys have a more of a fear in Dak as the QB than faith, but they're still going to give him that $50 million because they have to.
Yeah. No, because I mean the dead money, the cap hit next year is going to be too crazy not to. Okay, next one.
What about Bobby? Faith or fear? Their confidence in Dak.
I think that their confidence is, look, Jerry's gotten really good at gathering a brain trust and taking in opinions and then saying, all right, this is what I think. And so a big portion of that is going to rely just on Mike McCarthy's evaluation. So I think specifically the question just comes down to, does Mike have trust? And like the fact of the matter is he doesn't. Mike McCarthy doesn't trust Dak Prescott, and I don't care how many ways he tries to lie about it in the media.
I agree, he doesn't. All right, more faith or more fear in the defense's ability to get a big stop?
You may use a softer term next time. No, I'm telling you to use a softer term next time.
No, okay. However he wants to finagle it.
I mean, look, let's not get too personal with it. We can get personal with each other, but like we still have to talk to the guy every Friday. Like, keep that in mind to a degree.
All right, next one. Do the Cowboys have more faith, or I'm sorry, do you have more faith or more fear in the defense's ability to get a big stop?
Fear. Now, I am asking myself if I'm not giving them enough credit against the Chargers.
I mean, they only allowed 17.
Yeah. Now,
Chargers with the ball, and there are a couple of red zone stops.
And I saw what's-his-face's PFF grade. I think it was really high, Deron Bland, and I was like, dang, okay. That makes Bobby's questioning the PFF legit and real, but no, this defense is not great. They can have flashes and moments of very, very good. Big stop, I don't have great faith. Fear.
Faith. I don't, like, I mean, it's a split, but, like, I mean, I don't have 100% confidence, but if I'm going to lean one way, I'm going to say, like, for the most part, they've been good this year. So I'm going to lean towards they're probably going to get, like, the other night, that was, they came up with the sack when they needed to. Gilmore made a play when he needed to, when they hadn't been able to. So when, like, the chips are on the line, I'm going to trust more than not. I'm just not going to have 100% faith in it. But I do lean more towards, I think it's more likely than not they get the stop.
You?
It's slight faith, very slight. There, obviously, after the Diggs injury, the secondary is I don't think been nearly as good, and neither is Gilmore for that matter. So it's slight faith though, only because Micah can get a big sack on third down on literally any play, or at least get pressure on any play. So that kind of plays into it. All right, more faith or more fear that this locker room is going to be just fine?
Fear. I felt like they were on the verge of cracking. Bobby said, get ready for the cracking before the Charger game. And I have a fear of it.
Yeah, that's fear. Now I do feel a little bit better because I thought they were going to completely crumble against the Chargers, especially after the first drive they gave up. But the fact that they didn't makes me feel a little bit better about it. And the fact that they're talking openly about, hey, don't worry about how people perceive our discussions on the sideline. It's more important that you just come talk to me and that we air it out. That's all encouraging stuff. But I'm going to have fear for a little while that this locker room is just, it's a little shaky.
I fear, which is stunning because, Dak is supposed to be the glue. He's supposed to be this great leader, and he is this great leader. But
the next time CD gets 2 or 3 catches, or if he gets, 4 targets, what happens then?
Yeah, look, Dak's never had to deal. Romo had to deal with a guy named T.O. on the sideline. That's tough. T.O. he would call it holding you accountable. That's what he would call it.
Yeah.
But he was tough to deal with. Dak hasn't had to have that yet. All right, more faith or more fear that the core four, Dak, CD, Micah, and Diggs, now obviously Diggs will be because he's signed, but will all be here in 2025.
Say the players again.
Dak, CD, Micah, and Diggs.
Faith.
In 2024, 25, then fear. Because, I mean, I don't know. I honestly just don't know where things are going with Dak at this point. I think CD and Micah and Diggs are here, but I don't know where things are at past 2024.
On whose end?
Both.
So you think you've opened up Pandora's box now. You think there's a legitimate shot. Which one has more of a chance of happening? Dak says, "Get me out of here," or the Cowboys don't give him the next deal?
Cowboys are a little uneasy, maybe, or trying to negotiate, like, we don't know how, and then that just chases him off. Like, here's the thing. I think if he were a free, the same situation that played out in, what was it, 2020? When did he sign that deal? 21. Spring of 21. If the same situation
21.
that was lined up in 21 occurred, and Dak has this thing that says you can't tag me again, I don't know that if that were to occur today that he wouldn't just go sign somewhere else, even if the money was equal.
Woo!
Like, I think this has been.
You're guessing, or you're hearing, or you're guessing based upon hearing.
Look, well, I mean, I'm filling in a little bit of detail, but I know there have been frustrations for him over the last year here.
All right, so there's a clip that you pulled from Mike McCarthy on, who was this?
I'm Shan on Sports.
And Mike talked about everything that Dak has to put up with here in the Metroplex.
I love Dak Prescott as our quarterback. I think the way he's built all the way through, obviously his physical skill set is excellent, but what he endures mentally and emotionally compared to the other 31 is unique. I've never seen, and speaking on experience of being around great quarterbacks, I've never seen a quarterback under a microscope like he is. And just his consistency, and his personality and work ethic and how he handles all that and navigates all that and gets out and goes out and performs it every week. I think it's special what he has to endure. I just think the intensity of the microscope on Dak is I've never seen anything like it. So for him to be as consistent and his attitudes very much the same every day as far as he attacks the preparation part of it. I think it's, you have to be unique to deal with that, and especially with this year 8, 9 for him. So he's been dealing with this a long time here. The intensity is like I said, nothing like I've ever seen.
And and that's why Mike was trending yesterday. Mike saying cover the other teams like you do us. You want to see the sports world explode? Besides the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, Dak Prescott request trade. Oh,
that would be epic.
Oh my God! On one side, you'd have the toes. Thank you. You did us a favor. You can't handle it. Go be a bum somewhere else. On the other side, you would say, look at how we chased this guy to town. We destroyed something. The scrutiny nonstop. You idiots with your topics over and over again. The Stephen A. Smith. Oh, it would go nuts.
It would be a sports talk radio dream.
Yeah.
Because
we get a lesser quarterback.
Well, no, I know, but then you get the topic of the trade. Then you get the topics of who's at fault, and then you get now who do you go get?
Yeah,
and then you get finding a new quarterback is a terrifying thing. But for sports talk radio, how do you go about getting one? All those topics is.
Do you have any doubt that they'll give him the next extension?
No, I don't, because the number of his cap number next year says they have to, right? Like they have to either extend they can't restructure this, right? They have to extend it.
I mean, they've got void years on the back of there that they can fill up with more money, but I mean, it's not easy to do. But like I said, he would have to play ball.
He has to play ball.
And if he doesn't have interest in doing that, then look, I think that you remember how the Russell Wilson thing in Seattle felt like it escalated really quickly to he wanted out. He wanted out and the Seahawks wanted him out. And when you look back at it over time, you go, okay, I guess you can see here were areas where it looked like they didn't trust him. And here were areas where Russ, no matter what he said publicly or how he carried himself, maybe you could see, okay, this probably built up over time to frustrate him, their lack of belief in him, or the decisions they made that he would interpret as their lack of belief in him. I don't see a whole lot of difference in terms of that playing out similarly here so far. Like it may feel like, man, that happened really quickly. But I think if you were to look at it over the course of 8 years, you'd say, you know what, that played out similarly to the way the Seahawks and Russ interacted with each other.
Cowboys faith or fear. Final one during the Expressway before we get back to the Rangers.
All right. More faith that they can beat any team on any night, or more fear that they can lose to any team on any night?
Ooh. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I guess slightly faith. Like I still would, I guess I have to look at it this way. Who's the worst team in football right now? Whoever you would say that.
I don't know,
is.
but they lost to them.
I got let's say if you
New England,
Arizona.
I think there's a better chance.
Carolina.
Chicago or Carolina.
Yeah.
I think there's a better chance that I feel more comfortable that they're definitely beating Carolina than that they're definitely losing to San Francisco again. Even though I don't think they'd beat San Francisco, I think there's a better shot that they beat San Francisco than lose to Carolina.
There's some matchups. Like, I don't see a way. I think this Cowboy team and this New England team could play 100 times. I don't see a single scenario where New England wins. I could see Chicago beating them. I could see Justin Fields having a crazy game.
Run around.
I could see obviously Arizona did it. And I can see a way they beat San Fran. Like, I don't see a single way they lose to a New England team at any point.
I'll have more faith that they can beat a good team. It just can't be San Fran. They can't beat San Francisco. They could beat Philly. They could knock off Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'll have a little bit more faith in that than losing to an absolute scrub.